Here we are, Catskill, Town of Shandaken, CAC, Conservation Advisory Council. That's it, the CAC meeting, March 20th. So let's rise to the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. So, we don't know if Michael's coming, and Robert is
not.
COVID. So, yeah, so we're down 2 members today. You have the roll call there, Catherine?
Yes, I do. We have Mark Lote, MJ Reese, Mary Herman, myself, Catherine Tupou, Bethia Waterman, Bruce Barry, and Caleb Frank. And our lovely, wonderful videographers.
Thank you.
Special thank you to the crew.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So I circulated the minutes with the reminder for this meeting. Did everyone have a chance to look at them? Yes.
Yes,
Can I have a motion to approve?
I move to approve them.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Okay. So, let's start here. The membership items and announcements. The table at Ulster Savings Bank is still alive and
churning
well.
away. Only because of disinterest on other parties.
Yeah. So this is the 3rd month that we've been representing ourselves there. Very happy about that too.
Good.
And
We probably should take it down at
not
the end
now.
of this month.
Let's talk about it.
Let's go through Earth Day, man.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
And
Yeah.
National Compost Week is in May, you know, I mean, why not?
And then there's Christmas.
Did you have to remove a lot of stuff to bring to the?
Yes, I went,
Center?
MJ and I
Okay.
had a table at the Phoenicia Farmers Market a week ago on Sunday. And so I removed some of the materials, you know, there are many copies down there, and brought them up to the Pine Hill Community Center. And MJ and I sat there for most of from 12 to 3:30 or something,
Wow.
talking to people. You wanna just give
and
your,
it was interesting.
get the microphone a little.
First of all, it was just great to be there as a presence. People were curious as to what we were doing, and then there was a lot of interest in the composting, like because people actually drive quite a distance to get there. I mean, to either drop it off in Phoenicia during the summertime, and they weren't sure where to go, and they're really excited about the possibility of more composting areas being available. So that was my main takeaway.
Yeah, so we had an opportunity just to interact with the public, you know, during that time, and I'd say it was very positive.
Yeah.
There are, I think, 4 more dates when the winter market of the Phoenicia Farmers Market will be held in Pine Hill. And if anyone else would like to do some outreach there, we can arrange for a table. There are spots available, so just let me know and I'll tell you how to get in touch with.
Did people come over and talk to you about what we were doing, or?
Yeah, people
Yeah.
did, and also they were, other people had questions that, that actually to look at the comprehensive plan committee, they had some questions about that and how we can support them, and also just different list of items that people wanted to be addressed.
Well, one item was, thank you for reminding me, the Phoenicia Farmers Market pointed out to me that on the list of actions for the climate smart community, you know, the 4-page list that we started with last April, that we're working our way through now. One of them is to create and promote farmers markets, and we get 3 points for that.
Oh.
And they asked us to see if we could help them get support from the town for the farmers market. In particular, they asked for a porta potty that the town would provide. So I spoke to Peter, but the town already provides a porta potty in Parish Field. So that would be a duplicate. So I'm not sure they may be able to move it closer to the farmer's market, because right now it's some distance away, but
Oh, when it's in Phoenicia.
yeah, when the farmer's market goes back to Phoenicia, they wanted to get a porta potty there on site. So I discussed it with Peter and they, I don't know if we should make a formal request to the town, asking for the town to support the farmer's market. I really prefer to have the farmer's market approach the town, and then we can then we can support whatever it is they come up with.
And quite honestly, with the porta potty that's over on the other side of Parish Field is not really being used, and so there might be a way you could synergize the idea and just bring it over to this side of the field, or have it somewhere.
I'm not familiar
Yeah.
where it is. Is it over by the by Parish Hall?
Yeah.
It's by
Okay.
the basketball court.
By the basketball courts?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
So that's
so
a
you'd
long
need to
hike.
bring it all the way to the
Yeah,
other
just bring it
side.
on the other side. Find another place
By the
that's
by the
mutually
playground
acceptable,
probably
right.
would be a better place,
Yeah.
right?
From the end of the
Or
street.
by the ambulance. But we'll see. Where
It's
they,
complicated.
Or
because
just
the
by the
house-
end of the street that heads into Parish Field.
Yeah.
So it's in Parish Field, but not, and that's literally a block from
Yeah.
where the farmer's
right, that's true.
market
That
is.
would be good. Yeah.
Well, the town, I feel like the town, having the town support the farmer's market is a good idea. And especially if it gives us points. I mean, I know it's a little self-serving. Well, all right, so the next announcement that I wanted to just get out to the public was that the Ulster County has announced the launch of the Ulster County Climate Adaptation Planning Interactive Map and Municipal Toolkit. And I'm not sure how we can use these resources, but they're available to support local municipalities in completing climate vulnerability assessments and identifying priority adaptation strategies. So that is something that the town has been working on.
I did get a chance to look at that.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, and it's, it concerns composting, it concerns EVs, it concerns all of the things that we've been talking about. It also identifies areas in the county that are vulnerable, and also counties, areas, I'm trying to find the right word, that are, destitute's not the right word.
No.
What's the word I'm looking for? It's
Vulnerable, susceptible to flood damage, basically.
yes, yep.
And identifying specific municipal
Right.
facilities that you may want to look at.
Yes, but also areas that don't have a good amount of money,
Lower income?
lower income,
Yeah.
yes, communities that could be available for any kind of grants and things like that, which we're not part of, by the way. It starts at the Greene County line. I checked where it was, and it goes into Tannersville and Hunter, but that area between Chichester and there is the only green section that they had designated for
For economic support?
yeah, mhm,
Yeah, huh, interesting. Thank you, Bruce.
not well put, but you're welcome.
Oh, I just want to say one more thing. Talking about the comprehensive plan committee was also for us to look at items to get points so if we're looking at items to get points that would require the law changes or significant funding, we should be looking into that so that the CPC, the comprehensive plan committee, could then support that. So anything that needs a law that needs to be changed, that might need to be changed, that should be, we can look and see how we want to collude both the gaining of points and how, if we need to change the law,
Okay.
the overlap of those.
Well, I guess that means reading the list again. That list is so hard to read.
Who's giving points? Is this the FEMA insurance program?
No, the Climate Smart Communities program has been gamified. So we are presently trying to accrue 150 points so that we can be certified as a bronze community. And then after that,
Gold? We don't wanna
after
go to
that, it
gold.
becomes silver and then gold. So,
It's kind of like getting a scout badge.
yeah.
I guess
But there's also money available.
So gamify is a new verb? Did I do
I've
that?
heard it used as a verb, and I'm using, I have adopted it, gamified.
Totally
Yeah,
got what she said.
yeah,
Good to know.
yeah.
I'll look it up in the text cross.
Okay, don't look in the dictionary, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
So that brings us to our next topic. The beginning of the month, Donna Leone, who is the town's code enforcement officer, attended a code enforcement training, and as a result, we received 200 points in the Clean Energy Communities Program and 5 points in the Climate Smart Communities Program. So that was an incentive for her to go, and it's part of her job, and we were the beneficiaries of 5, points in those 2 programs. So I'd like to thank Donna a lot for taking advantage of this opportunity. This was something that Melanie had circulated to us, and I sent it on to Peter, and this is the result. Oh, her name is Donna Lamont. Donna Leone is an author of an Italian mystery series. Donna Lamont. So, thank you, Donna. And while we're on the subject of points, I would say that Melanie has also helped us considerably by going over all the points that Robert has identified that we qualify for. And I'm hoping maybe at the next meeting, Robert can come and we'll have, a 1 year later, next year will be, we started last April, so our April meeting will be our anniversary of a year. And
Time flies, it doesn't feel like a year.
I know, and we'll see how we're doing. But we're getting very close, I know that. And that'll be an exciting moment when we can be certified bronze. Only one other announcement sort of thing. I redid our Conservation Advisory Council
Oh, thank you.
and Climate Smart Task Force list to bring it up to date. And if anybody wants to delete or add their information, let me know. Thank you. So we'll go on to our so-called committee reports. We're going to start with compost. I guess I did these alphabetically, so. Oh, Mary, do you want to tell us what's going on?
Well, we have 2 dates scheduled with the Ulster County Resource Recovery Agency for composting workshops to be held at.
Make sure you get in the microphone.
To be held at the Pine Hill Community Center. So the first one is on Tuesday, May 9th.
That's the
from
second
1:30
one.
to 2:30. Yeah, Tuesday, May 9th.
What's the May 2nd Bokashi conference?
Well, wait a minute, let's just let Mary finish, but isn't there one on April?
Yeah, and then the second one is in April.
Okay, so
We're
the
gonna
first one
have-
is in April, the second one is in May, if you don't mind my
Oh,
saying it.
okay, why did we just have May on?
Depends on how you look at it.
I can
April,
explain.
May. Okay, oh, so I should have gotten April 1st. Huh.
Now, here's the deal. I gave you all a copy of this flyer, and I'd like to
Yeah.
put one on television.
Okay.
This first week in May is Compost Awareness Week.
Oh, I see.
Do you want me to bring it closer to you? I can give this to you, and then you can just, so that's why
No, she's got this.
the May one was listed on the
I see,
flyer,
I see.
but
I
they
was using
didn't,
this as a cheat sheet.
they
Sorry.
didn't do the flyer for the April one.
What was
So-
the date of the April one?
April 7th? Is that what you got?
It's on the thing, April 17th,
17th.
from 4 to 5:30. And the one,
So that will be that would be introduction to composting.
and both of these 2 classes are taking place at the Pine Hill Community Center,
And they are free.
and they are free. And there's their registration required?
Yes, and I'm coordinating with them. I mean, you could walk in too, but I'm coordinating with them to have, they like to have a sign-up sheet. So, and get, this way you can gather information.
Okay,
So I'm working with the community center on that.
great. So thank you, Mary, for setting these up. So let's just go through it again. It's Monday, April 17th, from 4 to 5:30. That's the intro to composting. And Tuesday, May 9th, from 1 to 2:30, that's the advanced home composting
What happened?
at the Pine Hill Community Center.
Oh, okay, gotcha. That one's in New Paltz, gotcha, all right.
1 PM to 2:30. So that's on the back side of this, or the front side. It's on one side of this flyer. And this flyer, on the reverse side, advertises the spring compost bin and rain barrel sale, which happens once a year. They bulk buy these compost bins and rain barrels, and as you can see on the flyer, it looks like some other items maybe. It's all available on their website. And then you pick it up, you order them on the website, and then you pick it up on Saturday, May 20th from 9 to 1. So this is another compost-related subject for information out at the recycling center. I think, I'd like to circulate this far and wide.
Can this go on the website, our website?
It certainly can. I'm going to give it to Joyce, and she
Okay.
can put it on the website.
It's a little confusing because you have other towns as well, so,
I think so too. I think
Yeah.
that what we need to do, if you don't mind you don't need to do it, but what I would like to do is to develop our own flyer and using this snappy logo that Joyce developed, this, the environmental
Yeah.
colorful logo, and work out a flyer. I thought I would ask Joyce to help us. And then that can go on Facebook and on our website, and also maybe we can put some copies out in the recycling center
Yeah, I like to, and I
and
always,
put it up at the Pine Hill Community Center.
I'm a fan of putting things up at the post offices too.
Yeah, post
I
offices.
know people love to read those bulletin boards.
Yeah. So I will try to work with
Oh,
Joyce
libraries.
to get a flyer for the 2 classes and the bin sale, I call it the bin sale, you know what I mean. All right, so that's part of it. Then, I have a very long report here. I hope you like composting. And the next thing I wanted to say is that I am going to submit a grant to the O'Connor Foundation. It turns out that our project to create a townwide compost program fits into their
oh, terrific.
guidelines.
Because we didn't get the other one.
No, and the deadline is April 1st, so this is top of my list of things to do this week. And I'm hopeful it would be, a slightly reduced, not the Cadillac composting program,
Which
but
was 10,000, right?
yeah, which was 10,000. This will be more 5 or 6 or 7.
Still,
It's a great opportunity. So as I said last month at our meeting, I was trying to find other sources of funding, both businesses, individuals, and grant opportunities. So this is a grant opportunity, and I agreed to write a flyer or something, which is the thing I circulated to you. It starts, what can we all do today to reduce greenhouse gases? And it says, we can stop wasting food and money. Estimates say that globally 30% of food is wasted, and in the US it's closer to 40%. We can compost food scraps to keep organic waste out of the landfills where it decomposes anaerobically, buried under tons of refuse, and creates methane, a gas more harmful than carbon dioxide. Shandaken CAC is offering 2 programs, home composting classes and food scrap collection program. And then I described the home composting, which is pretty much what Mary has set up with Ulster County Resource Recovery Agency. And by the way, they were thrilled to be coming out here because they've never been asked to come to Western Ulster before.
Where are they located?
In Delaware County somewhere, doesn't matter. And then Made in Shandaken Food Scrap Collection Program. We want to start a town-wide site where residents can drop off their food scraps at the Shandaken Recycling Center. A local farmer will collect it and turn it into compost on his farm in Phoenicia. The beauty of our program is that it is made in Shandaken. No extra fuel or greenhouse gases are created by transporting the compost to distant locations.
Who is the actual farmer?
His name is James Amenta. He's on the old Plank Road. And let me go on a little further here. This is an expansion of the successful Phoenicia compost program initiated at the Phoenicia Farmers Market several years ago. We need to raise $5,000 to purchase the equipment necessary to make the collection program viable. A composter, airtight buckets and bins, and a bear-proof storage container. The CAC is looking for support from businesses, individuals, and grants. So
That's beautiful.
that was just a kind of, to summarize and to put it in the larger framework of all the kinds of things that we've been doing here to help reduce greenhouse gases through reducing food waste.
Can you also, when you're writing the grant, unless you wrote it already, I don't know,
No, I haven't.
use the information of the grant that we already had written?
Oh, I certainly can,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay. That's plagiarism, but it's okay.
It's all right, it's my, if I wrote it, I can plagiarize
Well,
it.
it does-
All right, and I think this is my last announcement on the subject of composting. Ulster County Resource Recovery Agency has a facility in Kingston, as perhaps you know, where, and we all know that Ulster County has a food waste law that regulates those businesses and institutions that generate more than, I don't know, it's either half a ton or 3/4 of a ton of food waste a week, I think. Anyway, so Ulster County Resource Recovery Agency has its own compost program there in Kingston. And the compost is sold. You can buy for $30, you can get a ton of compost.
Wow.
There's a $20 minimum load fee. Monday through Saturday, 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. You can also buy bagged compost for sale. Online, pre-order only. It's $5 for 1 cubic foot bag. And there's more information on this flyer that I picked up because I went to their offices last week to get these flyers, the Compost Awareness Week flyers, and I saw this there. So I thought I'd put this up at Town Hall, maybe one out in the recycling area. I'd like to, hi Pete.
Hi, Peter.
Peter, we have some materials over here if you want them related to composting and so forth. We really need some way of posting messages out there at the recycling center. I mean, right now
Out
there's, yeah, something so that we could put some of these flyers and some of our flyers. Before you arrived, Mary announced that we're going to be offering 2 classes in composting, and Ulster County Resource Recovery Agency will be teaching it in Pine Hill, one in April and one in May. Yeah, so, and the April one, I believe, is the same night as our next meeting, but it's over at 5:30, so it shouldn't conflict too badly with this meeting.
Then we'll have lots of things to report.
At the community center?
Yeah,
Oh,
both classes are gonna be held at the community center.
oh, great.
Yeah, and their Ulster County Resource Recovery Agency staff is coming out here to do it. So this flyer only deals with the week that's called National Compost Awareness Week. It's the first week in May. So we're gonna make it our own flyer, and I'm hoping Joyce can help us, and then circulate it through her
The Facebook and.
media center, yeah.
Put it on the.
But I'd like to make some that we could have as handouts outside, you know, so we kind of need some kind of weather height
Billboard, poster board, whatever it is.
poster board, or sometimes you see at trailheads, a plexiglass,
Covering.
with a lid that lifts, you know, it's something that attaches to a piece of wood maybe, or, you know, something that we could put up out there.
Right, we could even like somehow affix it to the chain link fence.
Yeah.
Or the door, like where the hours are, maybe put it next to that and it has a plexiglass front.
Yeah.
That would be,
How would we go about getting something like that? Is that something the town could purchase?
oh, of course, of course.
Oh,
Could they
great.
build it?
Yeah.
Could they literally build it?
What's that?
Could they literally build it?
The town?
Yeah,
I don't know if we have anybody that skilled.
okay.
We don't have like
A shop.
Like the county does, a shop.
Oh, okay, all right.
I mean, we have a mechanic in a mechanic shed who fixes trucks and cars. We don't have that kind of facility. But there's gotta be something that we could buy on Amazon or something.
I'm sure there is, so, well, we'll look into it,
Okay.
yeah. Because, you know, we have,
I can look into that if you want.
all right, good. Thank you, Bruce.
So it's a bulletin board is what the word I'm looking for.
Bulletin board is a possibility, but
Very good weatherproof.
Yeah.
sometimes those message boards, like the one in Phoenicia, the ones at the library, you know, those tend to be pretty pricey. But
Yeah,
these
we-
little plexiglass lift top things, but anyway, either a message center board with doors that open up and lock and all that,
Yeah,
that we could put up, or something
right.
a little more informal.
Would that be put into your grant application, the money for that?
That's a good idea. Thank you. Great idea. Yeah, because some educational and, yeah, yeah.
Get points.
More points.
We're gonna
To
get points.
gamify the situation.
Okay, so,
Good report.
thank you. That was a lot on composting,
That's
wasn't
a-
it?
yeah.
Now, we will move on to energy, but Rob's not here. Does anyone else have any?
I talked to Rob today, and I went to, attended the U Green webinar last week or a week and a half ago. And actually, I attended the U Green meet and greet over at the
Dixon.
Dixon's, and met a gentleman who is an expert in home evaluations and so on and so forth, and I put him in contact with Rob. So
Oh.
Rob, I may have him here as a guest.
Oh,
I
okay.
can't speak for Rob, but I think that's what
Yeah.
his plans are.
That's
So,
great.
this gentleman has a business that does evaluations of energy efficiency in buildings such as this, and would be happy to talk to us. I asked him about that. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I think his name was William McKnight.
Yes, it is. Mhm. Okay. You know everything.
I may know that fellow. I noted, when he sent that email, I noted the name,
Yeah.
Bill McKnight, yeah.
yeah.
Right. Okay. So I thought that's all I know what Rob was going to talk about in this. So I guess that moves on to me.
Yeah,
All right. So.
now we're discussing EV.
EVs, and we've been making some progress. I did attend the U Green webinar on Thursday, March 2nd, where the speaker Adam Bosch spoke and put together a really awesome program. I've got a ton of information which I'm not going to go through here, but what I came out of that meeting with was rethinking level 2 and level 3 charging. And what they're suggesting, the county is suggesting, is that if you're going to be thinking about installing chargers, think about going level 3. Whether it's now or later. In other words, you can put in level 2 now, but while you're doing the excavation and laying in all the conduit, plan ahead and lay in enough conduit and so that you can run heavier wires for a level 3 charger. That being said, there are some interesting facts, and I'll go through some of them. There are 70,000 EVs on the road in New York State, which is a
That is
pretty,
interesting.
it's a fascinating number. They 15,700 EVs in Ulster County alone. So there's a real demand for this. Not far behind Long Island, which has 20,300, and Manhattan, which has 16,800. That it's projected by 2050, we're going to have a lot. I don't have the number right here in front of me, but right now we're sitting at the number I gave you. The discussion was mostly about tax credits, funding. There's $7.1 million in New York State utility EV make-ready programs. There's $175 million over the next 5 years for national electric infrastructure. There's tax credits. There's tax credits for buying an EV. There's $7,500 depending on what vehicle you get and when you get it. There's also credits for municipalities such as ourselves. And the question I had, what was the question I had? Remember, I said, I pointed out that it was, where was that? There's something that I have to ask if we are a member of, and that is,
Open,
what is it?
I'm trying to remember. It's like source.
All right, I'll find it.
Open.
I underlined it, but in the meantime, I have also contacted Rivian, the company Rivian, who makes the Rivian pickup truck, and they're looking to put EV chargers in places where they call the adventure, it's their adventure network. And I said, our town, I talked to them, and I said, our town of Shandaken is the hub for so many sports and so many destinations for people who are looking for adventure, whether it's skiing, kayaking, biking,
Fishing.
camping, fishing. I mentioned all of those. We are the hub for that, and we are sitting right in the middle of an area that has absolutely no EV charging infrastructure. And that appealed to them, and they said, sounds great, we have to discuss it amongst ourselves, we'll get back to you, I'm waiting to hear from them. If that's the case, they're trying to spread out their network, and I think they're picking up the bill for it. If I can get them here, they're not exclusive for Rivian. Their charger system is the same as every other vehicle except Tesla's. So, and Teslas can use them as well. So that's where I'm heading with that contact. In the meantime, I met today with Robert on a Zoom call with INF Associates, which is another turnkey operation. And this company, they spent an hour on the phone with us today. This company will set you up from the very beginning to the very end of equipment. But what they want to do is, before they give me any prices, they want to see the sites that we would like to put them in, or potential sites, so that they could figure out, first of all, what they think our needs are. They also are advisors, an advisory company that will look at your area and say, well, you really should have some level 2s here, or maybe a level 3 here, or whatever it's going to be. But they want to look at it themselves, and they said that they could do that at no cost. So I'm going to go ahead and invite them and show them Parish Field, show them maybe Marty's old parking lot. I don't know if we can put that there. And also over at Pine Hill at the community center. And we had a very good conversation with them. So just to keep it
In
short.
the town hall.
Town hall is not in the middle of anything.
I know it isn't, but, well, we're gonna get onto this
But we
eventually.
could-
Eventually, we hope to
I'll
have
take a
EV.
look.
Yes, but we could put
EV
in, we could
vehicles.
put, if you have an EV vehicle here, let's say it's a police car or an ambulance or whatever it's gonna be, you could put in a $8,000 unit on the wall. It doesn't have to be, I mean, yes, maybe we can get credits for it, but that would just be for our own use. It wouldn't
Yes,
be
it
for anybody else's use.
Well, other
Right.
people,
It would be just for the use of the town, because you're gonna want it available for the use of the town. You don't want people from outside using it. So we have to have a place where visitors can come and charge, and wherever they're charging, they can go shop and have dinner. So, so anyway, those three particular sites, and you had mentioned the firehouse too, could be a possible
That's what I was
site. And that's walkable distance to town, which is great.
Walkable to town, exactly.
Yeah, so that's all town property, right, as
Yeah.
well?
Well, the firehouse owns their own property, but where the ambulance squad is town property. You know, the medical center, ambulance squad.
Oh, you're talking about over by the new,
Parish Field.
yeah,
by Parishfield.
okay, right, okay. So,
But either or, I mean, I'm sure that the fire department would be happy to put one there.
right, okay. So, I'll talk to them, set up a meeting, and maybe you can attend, with that tour that we give them?
I'd love to, yeah.
Okay, so I'll keep in touch with you about that.
Okay.
The question I had was about the town being a member of something to get discounts. Oh, no, not GEV, hang on. I did underline it, didn't I?
No, I remember. Just don't know what it is.
Is the interpretive center, because it's a DEC property, off limits for having something like this there?
No, it's not off limits, but I think that would be their responsibility to put that in, not the town.
Rivian might find that an attractive,
That could be, it could be.
Site.
That wouldn't benefit us, though. We want something that brings
Right,
people
in town,
into
yeah.
towns,
I know.
both of our towns.
yeah.
Right, but the more there are, the merrier.
The what?
The more there are, the merrier. I mean.
Oh, yeah, I'm
The
su-
more chargers there are, the more people come to visit.
But it's, yeah, the problem is cost, and I don't know if we want to shoulder all of that
No,
cost.
certainly not.
Yeah.
I've just thought of another location where people stop to do things.
Right.
Yeah. If I find this, I'll
Yeah, Bruce,
ask
what-
Peter about it, but
Well,
that,
you can ask it, but we'll move on for
Move
now.
on.
Is that
I'm-
okay?
I'm done.
But
Yeah.
thank you for a great report.
thank you.
The next committee report on our list is the Government Operations Climate Action Plan, GOCAP, which MJ, Caleb, Angel, and I are members of that subcommittee. And MJ and Peter and I, and Angel was on Zoom, and Caleb was in school, met with with the highway superintendent last Thursday, or maybe it was Wednesday. And MJ, do you have any notes there that you wanna? or any-
Just, first of all, Eric had a wonderful list of accounting of, he pretty much knows what is on their, we looked at transportation and what vehicles they have and what's their grade as far as the ability to, how efficient are they with gas? And what level of, what condition they were in. Are they in good condition? Are they just about ready to bite the bullet, or where exactly are all those? So he has a good spreadsheet on what all those are, which is really good. And then looking at how to take that to the next step and get it more green was one of the things he's looked at, was taking the the routes that, let's say, the snow plows did and all, because we just finished a whole big snowstorm, and by spreading salt on certain areas, but increasing the concentration to the, not to a huge extreme, but just enough so that he doesn't have to redo it a couple minutes later, a couple hours later. He just is taking into account how to be more efficient with the use of the routes and the routing of the trucks. And just looking at the one thing that was very surprising was the gas mileage, like what they get per gallon was, I think it's like maybe a really good vehicle would have 4 miles to the gallon. And that was a big eye-opener as to how an efficient one would have 4 miles to the gallon, and that was just an eye-opener.
This is the heaviest duty equipment, our plows and trucks, you know, they're.
Yeah.
They
So we
get-
did,
What is the average age of these vehicles?
We have a fleet inventory, so many of them are quite old, but it's really hard by looking at the fleet inventory, because one of them was an Oshkosh truck that they basically aren't using anymore. Nobody can drive it. Nobody knows how to drive it, but, you know, it's old.
so what they thought of moving the knockabouts, you know, just shifting, the knockabouts are the ones that are just random use, as far as I can tell, maybe have better definition. But maybe looking in the 5-year plan, 2028, maybe having some of those be more hybrid. But there's no way you're gonna get a hybrid, well, right now, there isn't a hybrid truck that can plow snow, that can last for, like, they're out on the roads for over 10 hours, or for that amount of time, to have a electrically charged truck is not really feasible, not well, you know. So just those are two
Yeah.
things.
Well, it was a very productive meeting, I thought.
Who was
and-
it with? I'm sorry.
What?
Who was the meeting with?
Eric
Eric,
Hoffmeister,
okay.
the highway superintendent.
Yeah.
And we came up with some short-term goals and some long-term goal possibilities
Yeah.
to include in our, we can call it a government operations climate action plan. So that transportation was the first sector that we were looking at in developing the information to put into that plan. And the next one is going to be facilities. So we'll be having another meeting with Peter and maybe with the other facility managers, because the town facilities includes the library, the museum, the police station, this building.
Fire departments?
No, the fire departments are independent of the town. Are
Even
there-
the Phoenicia Library is independent, it's its own district, they
Yeah.
heat themselves. But you said, the museum, this place, water, plants,
Yeah, the water treatment,
The police station, is that?
police station,
Police
and
and-
the highway department
yep, yep.
facilities. So, you know, we'll be talking about them next and how we can improve and see if there are opportunities for solar or whatever, you know. And see if we can include that in our climate action plan for the short-term goals.
Right?
We have to, the key performance indicators for the transportation meeting were, how many vehicles are converted to EV by 2030? We thought we could make some projections, not EV, but hybrid probably more likely. And how many charging stations will have been installed by 2025? Is that a reasonable timeframe, you think?
Yeah, absolutely.
And how many gallons of fuel consumed. The town, I was very impressed with Eric's management of the fleet and the routes, the efficiency of routes. It's something that he thinks about a lot.
Well, that's something we started together like 15 years ago. We got the gas management system.
Yeah,
Because there was nothing there, it was like, they used to do it by paper, you know?
Yeah.
Just write in, how many gallons did I put in and how many miles is the truck
Yeah.
or the car? Even the fire district used to do that with their fuel.
Yeah.
It's all been managed over to a computerized system.
Right.
Which gives you a readout every week, every month,
So you can project what your fuel bills will
and you
be.
can project what your fuel bills will be.
Mm-hmm.
And it keeps track of the miles per gallon and that kind of thing.
Well, by 2030, if that's what you're projecting to, there's going to be huge changes in heavy equipment because, as at this point, Tesla has tractor-trailer trucks that are all electric. So that transition to any other kind of truck is going to be inevitable.
Yeah.
Yeah, even buses are transitioning.
Yep.
over.
Didn't the state of California set 2030 as a date for an entirely electric?
Yes, they
There's no
did.
gas vehicles allowed, was that 2030?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
California
So
is
it's
the
gonna go
biggest
fast.
automobile market on the planet.
So we're making progress. This is one of the priority actions in our climate smart community checklist, and
Great.
a lot of points if we finish this.
Gamify, the keyword for today is gamify.
Yeah.
Can I
Yeah.
circle back before you go?
Yes,
into-
please do.
Okay, I found what I was looking for.
All right, good.
I am
knew you
organized, I just wasn't organized. Are we a member of this Sourcewell? Have you heard of it?
I've heard of it,
Yes.
but we're not a member right now.
It may behoove you to become a member of the town, become a member, because there are discounts for municipalities in all this infrastructure work. So this is what these people that I met with today, INF Associates, that suggested that the town become a member. They are, and so they can connect you to those kind of discounts. So if you've heard of it, that's great. So that means they're not just making it up. The other, we were talking about initiatives as well, and New York, NYSEG offers initiatives of $5,400 for a level 2 charger. So that's right, cash right there. A level 3 charger is $330 per kilowatt hour. So if you put a 50 kilowatt hour charger in, that equates to an incentive of $16,500. So all this is available to us, and it's outfits like this INF and the other one that I had talked about last meeting find all of these initiatives for you. So my last question for the board is, once we put this all together and we have what we think is a plan, when do we move this to the board, to the town board as a resolution? And how do we present this to the board? My thoughts were we would give you 3 scenarios that are suggestions. One scenario is to go with a company that is turnkey operation. Second scenario is to go with purchasing your own equipment, owning it, and installing it yourselves. And then the third option would be to lease the equipment. So what we will do is, as our committee, we'll put together these proposals, propose it to the full council so that everybody can approve it, and then we can hand it off or present it to the town as a resolution, or as
Well, as an advisory council, you would hand this to the town board as an advisory
Right,
position.
right.
And say, here's some great ideas, and list them in order of, how much this will cost us, where we can get money from, and then move it forward from there. You could make that resolution amongst yourselves to pass it to the town board.
Okay.
And then we will have to discuss what do you want to do, blah, 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 and find out where the majority of us want to decide.
yeah, because we can.
Whether it's the lease or purchase outright.
I mean, I'm looking at a timeline here to say, let's say in June, we have everything ready for you, and we can hand it off to the town and say, okay, now, here's what we looked at, and you decide whether you want to go ahead with this or not.
Right. And then it would take us probably a couple of months to disseminate what, somebody else will have a different idea, but, we'll be able to, before the fall, I think, by the end of the summer, be able to make a plan and make a resolution and get that going.
Great, because we're always looking to hand it off and get it done so that we can move on to other things. So that would be our committee's plan, is to have something done by not this next meeting, but the meeting after that. And we'll give you a full presentation with PowerPoint and just get all this information culled out to make sure that it makes sense.
So you're aiming for our May meeting with a presentation on.
What's your main meeting?
May.
Oh, May meeting.
A meeting in the month of May.
Yes, I'll be back by then. I won't be here for the April meeting because we're
Okay.
going on a road trip, but, yes, the May meeting,
Okay,
yeah.
good,
All right?
Sounds good.
yeah.
Great.
And maybe, just to let the board know that this is happening, so if anyone's curious about it, sort of like, maybe some people may want to come.
I'll put it in my
Yeah, that'd be great.
report.
So they know it's coming down, coming through.
The next one on the list is a natural resource inventory. I don't know if you have any,
I've absolutely made no progress.
Fine.
I've had family
yeah,
issues.
I understand. Oh, one other thing about EV I wanted to mention is that presentation from Pattern for Progress at the Ulster EMC, Environmental Management Council, on March 29th. That's the presentation from the March 29th in Kingston is the presentation by Patterns for Progress, who was hired by Ulster County to develop a plan for EV charging and infrastructure in Ulster County.
Yes, that's.
So that's a meeting I would like to attend, and maybe we can go together, Bruce.
We'll go, definitely. And
Yeah.
that's on March 29th.
March 29th in Kingston.
That's Adam Bosch. He's the Pattern for Progress.
Oh, is he?
Yep.
Oh, I thought he worked for DEP. Well, anyway, I must be
He
wrong.
moved over to Pattern a couple of years ago.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Oh, so
he gives a
that's-
great presentation. If it's anything like what he gave at that webinar, it'll be.
It probably is the same.
It probably
Okay.
is, yes.
But it'll be interesting to see what other people, what questions people have, and,
That's in Kingston?
yeah.
That's at the legislative building?
I think so.
Okay.
I'll try to find out more about it
Okay.
and the time. Like where and when, that would be good information.
That would be helpful. I can, that's not through Melissa over at Ugreen, is it?
No,
I wonder
I
if they're
think
running
it's,
it. I wonder who's running it. Probably Patterns for
well,
Progress.
I think it's Ulster County Environmental Management Council, which is
Okay.
what Robert is our liaison to
Oh,
them.
okay, all right.
So he may know also.
Well, we'll talk.
Yeah, we'll talk. Okay. I wanted to mention pollinator pathway. You know, there's a lot of activity on this subject, and we're very much in support. I met a woman who is accidentally, and she's a coordinator of something called the Bee Conservancy, and she's a director in New York City. And I looked up on their website, and there are 4,000 insect species, native insect species that are pollinators. It's not just honeybees. There are 4,000 insects, and 1 in 4 is endangered. Probably more, you're right, Catherine. So,
Nationally or just regionally?
In New York.
regionally. And I mean, that's an important aspect of our economy and our health of our environment, and one that we want to protect. So that's the purpose of these pollinator pathway efforts, like the one that you mentioned last month onto our school, and so forth. So there's a presentation by Woodstock Land Conservancy, the third in the series, on the 25th of March, next week, March 25th, or today's the 20th, so.
It's
Saturday, this Saturday.
Okay. I'll try to circulate that to the members if you're interested in attending. I attended the last one. I think I did also, but
But I think you already
sent that out. I think I might have because
Unless I got it from someone else.
it
but
came a while ago and I probably sent it out when I got it, but I'll send it again. I noticed that on my list of committees, we don't have the comprehensive plan. You know, the people who are working with the comprehensive plan, which is MJ and Mary, right? So,
Good thing.
Didn't have a
No,
meeting last
just,
Yeah, we got snowed
we
out.
got snowed in, that's why.
Preempt.
oh,
I knew they were lying.
The snow that didn't happen.
The snow that didn't happen, and I gotta live with the plow guy and call him a liar.
I'm not sure if this fits under that, but the idea about the floodplains are now gonna be different, because they're new parameters because of, you know, what was once one in a 50-year flood, maybe, it might be different. But the projection of what might be flooding in the future, and I don't know if that fits under comprehensive plan committee, but I think the FEMA plans and flood insurance and all those sort of things would be something that would have to be looked at, which should be looked at.
From what I understand, it's not that the floodplains are gonna change that drastically, it's the
Frequency?
rate at which
Right, yeah.
we're gonna flood
Right,
is gonna happen.
Like a 1 in 100-year flood is now gonna
Maybe
be
more.
1 in 50.
1 in 25 or something, yeah.
They were up here 10.
Yeah, or 1 in 10, yeah, so that, I mean, that was just something that should be looked at as part of the comprehensive plan.
Remember
That's a
the
good point.
first that Hurricane Irene was 1 in 1,000 years when it actually happened? That went out the window within months.
Yeah, yeah.
well, I think that one of the, MJ mentioned earlier that if our committee sees the need for changes in our zoning code, and this is something that Mark could help us with, we should suggest to the comprehensive plan committee that they include that in the comprehensive plan. And one such change is I don't think our zoning code has anything about solar.
What did you do?
It actually speaks against solar.
Okay,
So
So-
it needs to, I
That-
mean, not our comprehensive plan, but our code actually.
yeah, but if we,
It kind of penalizes you for solar.
I don't know which entry you're referring to, it'd be interesting to research that.
This is about putting,
Accessory
structures.
structure, this is
Yeah,
on top of the
accessories,
roof.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, just to iterate, the code was adopted in 1974,
yeah,
so pre-internet,
yeah,
pre-cell phone, pre-solar.
yeah. So all
Well,
those,
I mean, it was boilerplate from New York State,
Yeah.
and, you know, there were very little changes that came off of the boilerplate,
Yeah.
template. But, yeah, it needs to be any kind of alternative energy.
And also, yeah, charging stations, that's gotta be,
Yeah, yeah, definitely, because this is something that they talk about too, is zoning ordinance for electric vehicle charging.
Yep.
That has to be incorporated into the town's plan as well.
Yeah, we have none at this point.
so that's the kind of thing that this committee can, through MJ and Mary, forward to the comprehensive plan committee for their consideration.
And they're cognizant.
Well, I'm on that committee too.
If you want this,
Yeah.
Does either of you want a copy of this? The
this is
I'll
the,
take it.
zoning ordinance for electric vehicle
I'm the
charging.
chairman, so I'll take it.
Okay. So that's timely, Bruce. Timely.
yeah, you know, I'd rather be lucky than good.
So, Mary,
Yeah, anything from this committee would be great, because we would like this revision of the plan to have a lot more teeth in it.
Yeah.
A lot more actions that can be done.
Well,
Will be
it-
done, will be done.
okay, good.
Even composting.
Even composting.
that's what, I just had floodplains, charging stations, solar, and composting, are 4
Yeah.
things that could be.
New business?
Any new business?
I'd like to bring up, and I think I touched on it last meeting, bike trails, rail trails, and there may be something in the works with the railway trails that we have running through Shandaken, but, and not sure if they're expanding the trail from the reservoir any further west than it is right now, but I know that they're putting in a tunnel that completes that railway. And perhaps they're thinking about extending it to a different section. I don't know, but I think it's
Well, there's up in Pine Hill, that's slated to be turned into a rail trail.
and how, to where? Where was it gonna go?
It's starting at the Bel Air Beach.
Right.
And going up to the connection with, the Route 27.
I'm out post office, yeah.
Oh,
The road that goes to Bel Air.
right.
Isn't it
That's a short trail.
It's a short trail, but, and they have 3.9 million.
They have 3.9?
Million.
Excuse me.
earmarked for that short trail.
Wow. Wow.
Well, there are numerous bridges that are required, that's,
Yeah, well, I'm thinking going now east from that point.
But they want to get that most western section and then head east
East.
from there.
Well, is there anything that we can do as a council to support that? Is there something that,
It's,
in the name of town of
we
Shandaken?
certainly, I've put my support out for the town.
Great.
Through the town board. If you want to write something up from the CAC, for sure.
Yeah, I don't know what condition the tracks are in from that point to Phoenicia.
There's some real rough.
I'm quite familiar, a lot of it is irreparable, a lot of it's in the creek.
It's in the
Yes.
creek. I know that one section right by the bridge.
I mean,
And there are many sections like
Yeah.
that, from
You
Phoenicia
could-
to Pine Hill.
yeah, and the bridge over the Esopus in Big Indian is
Yeah,
out.
right,
Gone.
right, gone.
So if initially the county wanted to do this run from High Mount to Big Indian, and it included a new bridge over the Esopus, but the costs were so high that they're just doing this as a phase. So this is phase one, that's my understanding.
Yeah,
And then they may develop phase two, or, there were other difficulties like where to park and things like that. So they're considering trying to complete this little
Is this the
stretch.
county you're talking about?
Yes, the county.
Because they own it, right?
They own it.
They own the rail,
Right,
the right-of-way, and they built the one in Neshokin.
right. Okay.
So they're working on it, but as a town-wide initiative, and there's some interest in linking the two downtown areas, Pine Hill and Phoenicia, a route could be developed that would utilize roads
Yes.
where necessary,
yeah,
and, then possibly other stretches of the railroad right-of-way could be rehabilitated.
Because that's what they do with many other rail trails, that
Yeah.
where it's impossible to get through where the old railway was, they detour you onto a side road, and then you go back onto the railway again. So, but anyway, I think that, this is, again, an environmental issue. And also will bring in a lot of, again, more tourists into the area to take advantage of those trails. So, I don't know what we could do as a council, unless it's already in the works and there's nothing we can do.
Well, any support is good. It's always a plus to have more support.
Okay.
We as a town board wrote our support in the prior administration, and then when I came in, they asked for our support, and then so we as a council sent the support again. But for you guys to put your support together and mail it off to Dennis Doyle, the planning department, that would be ideal.
Okay. That was good business, that's all,
Good,
for me, anyway.
yeah. Anybody else have anything they'd like to bring up? All right. Our next meeting is on Monday, April 17th, at 6:30 at Town Hall. Oh, one other new business item I'm sorry, I have to go back to new business now. Are we gonna do the 4th of July parade again? I hope so.
Yes. I said
Okay.
yes, but, yes, we should.
We should.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, we can put together a float, something, we didn't have a float last time, right? No.
Well,
We had
we
a
walked in front of your truck.
Oh, we walked in front of my truck, yeah. Well, we can do that. My truck now should pull a float. I have a trailer, and if anybody wants to work on a committee to put together some sort of display on a trailer, that would be great.
Maybe we should charging station.
Yeah,
Yeah, there we go.
we could do that, some trees and a bicycle and, I don't know, we'll think, composting. We can have old food waste piled onto the trailer and just pull it through town.
We can have a compost bucket that people can throw their food into as they buy.
Either at us or in it. Right. Well, yeah, so at the next meeting, or the meeting after, next meeting,
Yeah,
which
let's
I won't
put
be
that
at.
Put that on the agenda for the next meeting.
All right.
So we can have a mascot.
Glad you brought that up. Are that points also?
Oh, yes. It turns out that Melanie, who some of you know through her assistance to us with the GoCap, for instance, is working with Robert Drake on our points, because we're getting, we're not that close, but we're close. And so she reviewed all of the points that he had entered into our town portal with Climate Smart Communities. And she had some suggestions for other opportunities where we might get points. And one of them was climate change education, a strategy for climate change education and engagement. And so she asked if we had done any education. So I said, yes, we did the tabling at the town hall about compost that I did for 2 days last summer. We did the 4th of July parade where we talked with the public about EV vehicles. We did the table at the Pine Hill Community Center
Ulster Savings
and
Bank.
Ulster Savings Bank.
Library display.
The bank display.
Bank display, and now we're going to have the 2 compost classes. So those are all eligible activities. So the 4th of July parade is part of that. And but we need to accompany the activities with a strategy for climate change, education, and engagement. So I have to work on something I want to.
Can we do something with the grade schools, in other words, the elementary schools, so that we go in and speak to classes about environmental initiatives, not initiatives, but environmental issues?
Yeah, I'm
And,
sure we
you know,
can.
Maybe, a couple of us go into kindergarten, and I wouldn't go, I scare the heck out of kids, so it would be something else. But,
We have a student advocate.
but, like the fire department does, it goes in and they talk about the fire trucks and fire safety and all that. And
Yeah.
if we could do that,
Well, I mean, I think there are many opportunities for us to go and talk to people. There's the seniors in Phoenicia, there's the Rotary Club, there's, I don't know, what other.
PTA, you could do the PTA,
The
the
what?
what?
Parent-Teacher Association.
PTA, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like,
It's just when you talk to kids, they bring it home.
Yeah.
As far as the schools go, as I recall, they all have an Earth Day event, which is somewhere around April 22nd.
Right.
They invite lots of different
That's a really good
speakers to come in and do programs. They have like pollinator programs and earthworms and hikes and stuff
That
like
would
that.
be perfect.
So,
I mean, we have literature that really is kid-friendly, like, for instance, the composting literature that we have over at the bank. That's something that anybody can understand and get something from it.
But I don't want to sound negative, but you have to know how to talk to kids, don't you?
Oh, we can talk
I
to
mean, we
kids.
can afford a heck out of it, you know, just-
I can
Here's some
definitely
literature.
talk to kids.
yeah,
I-
all right,
No,
well,
it has to
I
be,
can,
it has to be hands-on stuff, it's.
Yeah, it has to be
We
hands.
have to
Hands on,
have,
you can't actually touch them.
you have to have dirt and worms and
Yes. they
That's
would-
kind of hands-on.
go to
pull them
that.
out, look at them,
Yeah.
and put them back in.
Well, yeah, and also, you know, you come in with a bunch of materials. You have paper, and you have tin, and you have plastic, and you have this, and you have a game. And you say, which bin are you gonna put this in? You know, yeah, we could do that. Okay. Kids are easy. Yeah. I don't really scare kids. All right.
We can work together on that and get something, maybe get something going for Earth Day.
For this Earth Day?
Yeah.
Okay.
What day is
What-
Earth Day?
It's April 22nd, but those school events are usually somewhere near it, depending
Yeah.
on what day of the week that falls on.
Unfortunately, I'm not gonna be here. I'm
Yeah, we
late.
could go later too. It doesn't have to be Earth Day.
No, it doesn't have to be Earth Day. No.
They're always looking for
It
things
could be
at the end of
National
the school
Compost
year.
Awareness Week.
Yeah,
When's that?
May
It's on your flyers. Here, Compost Awareness
May
Week.
11th through 13th, I think it is.
And the Pine Hill Community Center has kids camp all summer.
Yeah, that's true. Second December.
Yeah, the
That's a
kids
place.
camp in the rec program. It would be good to have some awareness
rec
of food
program,
waste and recycling at the Shandaken rec program. Yeah.
Set up a worm bin.
Well, maybe some of us could set up a committee to figure out
Okay.
how the program should go.
Education and Outreach Committee, how's that sound?
Yeah.
Okay,
We have to decide who's on the education and outreach. I am
You
on.
are.
I guess I am.
You are-
MJ is. Anybody else want to be on it? Okay.
I move to adjourn before I get a name.
Let's not
whatsoever.
overwhelm ourselves here with more events. All right, is there a motion to adjourn?
I move
Bruce?
it, yeah.
Second?
I second.
MJ, second.
We all second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.